Baseball family, welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. I'm Brig. I got Brad here with me. How are you, Brad?
Good. How are you today, Brig?
Not bad. Not bad at all. We're excited to get into things. It's Tuesday. It's hot. It's the dog days of summer. We got a couple of days before the trade deadline, and a number of news items dropped at the same time, which is exactly what happens. I feel like at this time of season, you get one of two things. You get there's no news, or you get it all happens at the same time.
Yeah, no news because everybody's waiting for trades. Speaking of which, join us Thursday. If you don't usually join us on Thursday night, join us this Thursday. We're going to do some trade deadline reaction. We're going to recap a lot of the big moves because the deadline is that day. So we'll have everything fresh for you that night.
Yep.
Again,
we'll be live
9:30 p.m.
That's right.
Eastern time.
Yep, 9:30 p.m. Eastern
YouTube,
time.
and Twitch for Twitch Taylor.
For Twitch Taylor. Yes. That's exactly right. Baseball family, as we go through the news today, if there's anything that you agree with or disagree with, go ahead and drop it in the comments if you're watching on YouTube or on any of the social media platforms. And if you're able to, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow button, if that still exists on the platform you're using. For those of you who are audio only, go ahead and subscribe as well. We're available everywhere that you can find your podcasts, and it helps us a lot, so that would be really great. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get into the news. First things first, Emmanuel Clase has been placed on non-disciplinary leave. This is on the backs of a gambling investigation. This came as a surprise to me. I don't know about you, but I was a little bit like, ruh-roh.
That was my reaction. Yeah, ruh-roh.
So this is a part of the same ongoing investigation with Luis Ortiz also playing for Cleveland's ball club. Well, not playing for Cleveland's ball club right now. Ortiz and Clase had lockers right beside one another during spring training. That's potentially relevant, okay? Because Ortiz was accused of having pitched inappropriately
pitched to prop bets.
To prop
pitched
bets?
To prop bets.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would say.
That's the allegation, right? So now there is speculation that Emmanuel Clase has been involved in and or performing in the same way. And again, lots of speculation, lots of thinly veiled allegations. Everybody's being very careful. What we do know, though, is if you're going to go on this sort of non-disciplinary or administrative leave due to an ongoing investigation, they have substantial evidence that roots you in the conversation, if not guilt. And they cannot say guilt because of, I'm sure, every stipulation by the players' union, collective bargaining agreement, mandates, etc. So what
Legal
we
system.
don't have are firm and blatant statements, but this is as good of an implied statement as it gets. Now, that is not to say he is guilty of anything. We don't know. What we know is this has moved to what we would call, probable cause, right? We're beyond reasonable suspicion. Now we're at probable cause. And, of course, he's still going to be presumed innocent. But the investigation is ongoing. Here's why this is important. 2 reasons, Brad. The first reason is that you don't bet on baseball. Don't bet on baseball. Stop betting on baseball if you have anything to do with the field and the gameplay.
And don't bet on baseball. Don't be involved with betting on baseball.
Yeah.
On the
don't go anywhere near it.
One of the best umpires was kicked out of baseball because he was sharing an account with somebody who was betting on baseball.
Yep.
And even if it was like he forgot to say, like, hey, by the way, don't put anything down on baseball, he's gone. Pat Hoberg will never umpire another game again.
Nope, he will not. And that is a shame because he's one of the best. But it doesn't matter.
Very good.
So Clase was, this is the other reason, this is important. Clase was a popular, very, very popular trade target. Coming into this week, he was, slated, I'm sure, on the wish list of many teams I heard from Jim Bowden on Foul Territory say that, yeah, of course he was on everybody's list as needing an arm, back end guy, closer, whatever teams needed. Guys, teams need closers, right? The Phillies don't even have a closer. They don't have a regular full-time closer. So, yes, somebody like Clase was a valuable trade piece, and now he is effectively off the market at this point. Teams are not going to do anything to acquire a guy that may not play the remainder of the season or the
ever.
whole of next season, or maybe never again. It's a huge problem, okay? But in line with the trade conversations, this is an enormously relevant detail. I'm glad that they came out with it now,
Well,
and they didn't wait.
Aside from him being one of the if not the top closers in baseball the last 3 years. I mean,
3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Well, I think regular season last year. You get into the playoffs, not so much last year.
Regular season,
regular season. He's been. I mean, he helped Cleveland get to the playoffs last year, but also he's under contract for 2 more years.
Right.
Plus, after that, 2 years of club options. Like, that is a team's dream, especially with a closer.
Yep.
Because if he were to fall off after the 2026 season or during the 2026 season, be like, nope, just move on. We're not locked in for another 2 years.
It's like, who cares? It's be done.
Yeah. Man, who didn't want this guy?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I bet the Yankees wanted him.
Why not?
Maybe. He'd have to cut his hair, though.
You're not doing that. Relaxed, not abolished. Okay, the grooming standards. Cleveland's baseball club has put out a statement. They said, "We have been informed no additional players or club personnel are expected to be impacted." Well, yeah, of course you'd say that, and we all hope that's true, obviously. But
I wonder if they said the same thing. I wonder if they said the same thing or were told the same thing with Ortiz. We don't anticipate there being anybody else. Oh, shoot. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, and I haven't done the digging on the stats, but I would love to see for real what the data shows his performance has been since the Ortiz announcement was made. I wonder if he's tightened it up a little bit and it's thrown him off, right? If he's a little uptight, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I don't know. Because I think it was a similar thing that is the prop bet for the first pitch of the inning.
Yeah.
Because I saw I think it was on X today. It was either X or Threads. Anyway, somebody was talking about how they found 11 pitches that could point toward a similar situation as Ortiz, where it was like spiked first pitches in the 9th inning. There was one that didn't even make it to the dirt, Brig.
Right, I know.
Like,
it's egregious, man.
And these guys having that much control over it.
And they do with that first pitch, right? You don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
After that, things change dramatically with swing and miss, swing away, whatever. Who knows? The batter is far more involved on that. But a lot of guys take that first pitch, no matter what, just by a matter of course.
Not only that, but it's easy to go out there and throw the first pitch at the backstop or spike it and be like, oh man,
got away from me
at the beginning. Right? Got to lock it in.
Those warm-up pitches were just ignore those.
No, not quite a bit. Not quite enough. Yeah.
So we don't know what will happen, baseball family. We'll keep you updated. But if you have more information, we want to know. We doubt it. But if you have some, please come and tell us. We're excited to follow this, but we are not excited about the implications. And if it goes any wider than this, that would be real bad. Real bad.
Could you imagine if this became like a league-wide issue? What would they do with DraftKings, FanDuel? What would ESPN do? Because if this is happening right now in baseball, what's the NFL season going to look like?
Right. I don't know.
Oh man.
Do you see how it's just so toxic so fast? Like, regardless of the veracity of any of these allegations, we don't know if they're true or not. We have no idea.
Right.
But two things now come into question. One, the integrity of the game, which I know people will boo-hoo and say, get off your horse, your soapbox, whatever. Okay, I got it. But gambling impacts the integrity of the game, whether it's, I don't know. I don't care who you are. You cannot argue with the fact that once
I did
gambling
see
is involved, you cannot trust what's happening.
I did see somebody in the comments on YouTube. They just said, just let all the players bet on sports. Like, really? You want
Ooh,
every player taking their under for the day?
Yeah,
That would
no.
be terrible for sports.
Everything would suck.
If nothing else,
suck on
like if nothing
purpose.
else, that would be the worst game to watch. It would be like you ever see Sergeant Bilko?
Of course.
You know the boxing match that he tries to fix, but he messes it
Yeah.
up because his bad guy gives the money to the wrong boxer. So the
Yeah.
one guy is like, "Oh yeah, I can take a dive," and the other guy's like, "Oh, I'll get the money after." He's like, "For 8 rounds, it's a dance recital," and then one of them finally throws a punch, and they both fall down. That's what it would be like watching baseball if the players, sports in general, if the players were allowed to gamble.
Perfect example. We should find the clip and link it because that is exactly what it would be like.